Yes, everybody, welcome back to Uzi Mumbai, the hub of everything Mumbai City FC, where today we'll be taking a look at 5 things that we learned from Mumbai City FC's window this year. Number 1, Lobera's score. Despite Lobera quote unquote losing his dressing room, he still somehow managed to bring most of his core players from FC Goa to Mumbai City. That's a bit funny, isn't it? Anyways, his core, or as we like to call it, the backbone of everything that he does, is really crucial to his success. He spent 2 to 3 years making them play exactly the way they want to, at least he wants to, and that is really crucial, especially in this year where we're ridden with COVID. With only a month for preparation and tactic implementation, a lot of the teams may struggle to actually implement the tactics to its fullest, whereas Mumbai will already have players worked under the same manager and worked under the same tactics before, which is really crucial and essential for our success this season. Where a lot of the teams will start slow off the blocks, we'll already hit the ground running from match 1, and that's something that is really helpful in dictating how we finish the season. Number 2, a long-term project. Mumbai have had a long-term project being laid in the place since the start of last year. The signings of Anwar Ali, Iwalpuya, Sathik Golui, Bidyananda, to name a few, was the start of this, and the indication seems to be that the plan is going to continue this year and for the long term forward, with the likes of Ayush Chikara, Chanso Horam, Norim Tandamba Singh, Rolo Puya, plus the promotion of Asif Khan and Nishit Shetty from the reserves. The future looks great for Mumbai City FC. The long-term contracts that they are signed on, plus the loan deals that they've been sent out on, clearly show that there's a proper plan in place and that there is a place for each of these players in the future for Mumbai City FC. This is very exciting and that you should be looking out for in the future. Number 3, the loan deals. When the deals were announced, a thought on a lot of people's mind was, what's up with the loan deals, man? With Santana, Lafondra and Sai Godard, some of the more important players in the team being signed on loans, it begs the question, why? So we'll take a look at these loan deals and see how they differ from each other. While Sai Godard came on a out-and-out loan deal where he will definitely go back to his parent club after the end of the season, the deals involving Santana and Adam Lafondra are a bit different. Let's look at Santana first. What we feel is that Santana and his club, previous club, Sporting Gijon, failed to reach an agreement for the compensation due to him for terminating his contract. Gijon wanted him out, he wanted to leave, but he had a year on his contract and they owed him the compensation. Since he did not want to let his Mumbai City FC deal go and sit on the bench there at Sporting Gijon, he decided to waiver the compensation and leave for Mumbai City FC, where the salary must definitely be better. This, coupled with the fact that now Sporting Gijon do not have to pay him the compensation, is a win for them and is a win for Santana, as he gets to leave and actually play for the manager that wants to play him, and it's a win for Mumbai City FC as they get their man. If you look at the Lafondra deal now, it's the exact opposite in the situation, but the same in the terms that it's gone through. Let me explain. Lafondra had the opportunity to extend his contract by a year as he had a +1 in his contract according to his discretion. But he was asked to take a pay cut by Sydney FC, something he wasn't really on board with. So, instead of leaving the club high and dry, he decided to continue with the club but go out on a loan deal on the last year of his contract. A lot of the fans were baffled and surprised by this, but this makes complete sense.
Look at this dude.
This allows Sydney FC to get Lafondra off the wage books. They get a little small compensation or a loan fee that Mumbai City FC paid to Sydney FC, so he's not gone out on a complete loss for them, and they get something out of it as he's most definitely on his way out anyways. And Lafondra gets to leave the parent club Sydney FC and not have to take a pay cut. Plus, Mumbai City FC do not have to A, pay or wait a year to get him on a free. B, they don't have to pay a complete transfer fee, but they do still pay a small amount fee, which I don't think is a massive problem. And C, they get the man. This is really important, especially for Sydney FC, because more likely or not, the A-League will slash down on the salary cap next year. This allows them to clear up one of the biggest wage earners in Adam Lafondra and use that space somewhere else, probably more efficiently. Number 4, immense squad depth. This year we made some great signings, and not just the foreign signings for the starting 11, but the absolute strength of the bench is immense. If you look at the players we've signed, you can see that there's a clear plan laid out for the squad depth. Were Sai Godard coming for Hugo Bumu, Ogbeche coming in for Lafondra, or Hernan Santana coming for Jahu. You can see that there's a clear plan and there's a there's a squad depth and a quality player to replace one of the starting 11 players. This, coupled with the Indian signings we have made for squad depth for like Amira Nawade for in right back, PC Rolopuya for in the middle of the park, or Furbala Chempa in the goalkeeping place, you can see that there's a lot of quality that we have signed in this year for squad depth. And given the fact that during the COVID era, in this 5 months, there are a lot of matches packed into a very small in a very small space, you can best believe that the squad depth is really important for each club. The club that's able to cope up physically the best in this tournament is going to come out on top. And number 5, goals. This season, the plan seems to be pretty clear. Outscore every team that comes in front of you. It's very evident in the way we have lined up, the way we have made our transfers, and the way we signed our players, with only one foreign centre-back coming in by a manager that is known for having at least 2 foreign centre-backs, and 2 foreign strikers, and not just foreign strikers, but absolute quality striker, a proven commodity in India and a proven commodity in Asia. It's no surprise that the plan seems to be simple: outscore the opposition and have fun. It's the sort of mentality that has been missing from Mumbai City FC for the past couple of seasons, maybe even more. And maybe some may argue that we haven't seen this kind of mentality in Mumbai ever. It's the mentality that made FC Goa the team that they are right now. It's the mentality that we should be looking forward to. But obviously, the obvious concerns about defense are valid, and that's something we have to look out for. But one thing's for sure, Mumbai City FC will be scoring a lot of goals this season, and you have to look out for that. Well, anyways, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do make sure to like, subscribe and comment, and yeah, we'll see you soon.